Let's make a logo in 8 hours or less. Why, Angela, would you take on such an absurd project?
Why?
Well, when you freelance and own your own business, you have the power to pick which projects you want to work on. Truth be told, sometimes you take on projects that aren't really just for the pay.
You think I'm crazy?
This project seemed like a really fun challenge for me and get my creative juices flowing. I kind of have all the creative freedom on this project. I wanted to take on the challenge to see if I could do this in a day and really give this new pet care company a brand that they could launch with and be really happy with.
Let the games begin.
Now, I've already talked to the client and figured out some of the things they need. I've made my own creative brief that the client has signed off on to figure out what kind of brand they want and who they're talking to. We're gonna be creating a new brand identity for a concierge level pet care company in Colorado. The client wanted to convey a more exclusive sort of white glove service, more of like a really polished version of what pet care can be. Some of their signature services include Pet Concierge Pop-In, which in their words stands for a scheduled 30-minute concierge visit to provide your pet exactly what they need, whether it's feeding, fresh water refresh, playtime, a quick walk, or an environment touch-up. They also offer private dog walks, but the difference here for them is that they tailor their dog walking activities to the dog's energy level, temperament, and preferences. They also offer like a step up from pet care, an estate and pet care bundle, which means they will come to your house, take care of your house and your pet.
We're gonna clean the house now, people!
They also offer sanctuary and pet environment services. So cleaning, sanitizing, refreshing, anything in terms of a cage, habitat, or even your yard to refresh it for your pet. In terms of mandatories for the project, the client wants the brand to look and feel like the Barkcountry's logo and brand. I did do my own research on what the Barkcountry logo, colors, brand looks like. This feels like a really small town, outdoorsy brand feel. They use like a rusty color and like a gold orange. It just feels very rustic. So I want to incorporate some of that into this visual identity, but making it feel a little bit more polished and upscale and like a really trustworthy brand. The first thing I'm going to do here is go through a couple of my favorite go-to books for symbols and just see if I can find some inspiration to kick me off. These two are some of my go-tos. They're two of my prized possessions in my book collection. I reference them for pretty much every logo brand project to see if I can find something that piques my interest. Another book in my collection that I like to reference often is The Man, the Myth, and the Legend, Aaron Draplin. Aaron Draplin is known as one of the greatest logo designers of our time. He definitely has his own style that he has curated over the years, but I really like to reference his work because he does such a good job of creating really concrete and succinct symbolism in his marks. Now that I've got some pages marked in a couple of these books, just some things that I thought were really interesting structurally, as well as how simple or complex things are shown, I'm gonna dive into creating some sketches and just get some ideas out on paper. Now that I've got some viable options that are sketched out here, I want to move into Illustrator and start playing with them digitally so I can kind of manipulate and adjust on the fly. that we have put our concepts, I'm only offering 2 for this project, into a Google Slides presentation, I'm gonna send it over to the client. I've written some rationale to accompany it as well, so that they can make an informed decision about which concept they want to move forward with. As a quick time check, we're at about 3.5 hours of deep focus work on this project, and I'm expecting to spend probably another 2.5 actually refining the mark, and then we'll put the rest of the time into creating the rest of the brand. The client is expecting this from me around this time, so I'm expecting to hear feedback fairly quickly from them.
A few moments later.
Just heard back from the client. Good news is they're going to move forward with the concept recommendation that I have provided for them. We're gonna move into refining the artwork and making sure our mark is really solid and playing with the color palette, really refining that, as well as moving into what this brand system is going to look like. We're gonna play with a vertical version, a horizontal version, maybe some different sub-marks. It just kind of depends what's gonna come out of this second session that I'm gonna work through. As well as putting together this brand one-sheeter. A brand guide wasn't a part of this project scope, but I wanna give them something to help them decide on how to use the mark and the colors and all of that stuff as well. Now that we've got the system in place, we've determined the color palette, I've finalized the logo, I'm gonna work on exporting all of this stuff over the next hour and sending it over to the client so that they can use it to launch their business. Total time spent today was actually less than 8 hours. I think I was able to be so efficient with this project because I did the preliminary work to write out a creative brief and really align with the client on what they were looking for and who they were talking to. Because I did all of that prep work and because I had the client sign off on the creative brief, it made my job a lot easier. I've also, over the years, really nailed down my process, how I think, how I brainstorm, how I put ideas from concept into final deliverables. I'm really proud of the brand mark that came out of today. This was a challenging project. It was a short turnaround, and I'm really happy with the result, and the client is very happy, so that makes me happy. Let's check out all of the pieces that came together for this project. Thanks for coming along with me, and let me know if you want to see more projects like this.